Somehow the story of the fan who stole the pace car is even more bizarre than what you think it is. The story that gets thrown around a lot is a drunk fan jumped the fence, hopped in the pace car, guy gets arrested, end of story. However, it's a bit deeper than that. Here's the full story of the mysterious guy who stole the pace car. Contrary to popular belief, this wasn't a fan who got drunk and was having a quick laugh. Honestly, it was quite the opposite. In 1986, Darren Crowder was a 20-year-old married man with one child. Unfortunately, his wife was in the middle of a battle with cancer. In an attempt to save some money, Darren decided to buy a motorcycle instead of a new car. He found an ad in the newspaper of someone selling a bike in Lincoln, Alabama. Darren lived in Birmingham, so it wasn't that far of a drive. On the morning of May 4th, 1986, Darren headed to Lincoln to check out the bike, the same day of the Winston 500 at Talladega Superspeedway. Bill Elliott won the pole for the race with a lap time over 212 miles per hour. Mark Martin, Alan Kawicki, J.D. McDuffie, and Davey Allison all failed to qualify for the event. Unfortunately for Davey, he barely missed out on the win in the ARCA race the previous day as well. Anyways, May 4th seemed like a normal great day for racing. This also included a record 133,000 race fans that were trying to file their way into the track, slowly but surely. So Darren got to Lincoln, where he got to see the bike. As one would, he took it for a test drive, reportedly with no shirt on. This will actually serve somewhat of a purpose later on in the video. Anyways, while out on his little test drive, he ran into some traffic. And, of course, it was the speedway traffic for the Winston 500 at Talladega. Although he had no intention of going to the race at all, Darren decided to go with the flow and check out what all the commotion was about. Somehow, he managed to make it into not only the track, but the infield without anyone asking him if he had a ticket. Evidently, the security was pretty non-existent. Pre-race ceremonies were rolling, the anticipation was building, and our buddy Darren Crowder was taking it all in. After spending some time inside of the track, he figured the infield was a pretty good spot to watch the race, and decided to stay to actually watch it. But as Dillard Munford gave the command to start the engines, Darren saw an opportunity and took it without thinking twice. The pace car was sitting in front of the main grandstands with no one watching. With no shirt on and probably a beer in his hand, Darren hopped 2 fences and bolted towards the pace car. Conveniently, the keys were inside. He started the car and headed off towards turn 1. Now, how did this even happen? Not only did he not have a ticket and get into the race, got into the infield undetected, jumped the fence, and made his way onto the front stretch into the pace car. It wasn't until he had completed an entire lap until any race official knew what was going on. Reports say that he managed to get over 100 miles per hour down the backstretch. I'm sure it was obvious to the officials that something was wrong once the car came down the front stretch at full speed when Darren completed his first lap. Reportedly, the first words acknowledging the situation from an official who did know what was going on were, "Who's that effer in the pace car?" When Darren crossed the start-finish line to complete his first lap, county police cars bolted into action to create a barricade across the track in turn 4, while motorcycles were in hot pursuit of the vehicle. It is crazy that the commentators did not even get word of what was going on until Darren got to the backstretch of his second lap. From here, I'll let the commentators do the talking.
Well, the pace car, we understand, has been stolen. The officials are not driving this thing, and somebody has actually gotten into the pace car and stole it.
There are at least 2 policemen on motorcycles, plus this car, that are pursuing the pace car right now. And up till now, the pace car has not been caught. They've created a roadblock there coming off of turn number 4, head toward the tri-oval, and we think there is some unusual drama occurring here.
As he approached the barricade, he gracefully slowed down. But he did not give up without somewhat of a fight. Someone managed to find a second set of keys to the pace car. The police approached the car with the second set of keys to unlock it. However, every time an officer unlocked the doors, Darren would trigger the power lock from the inside of the car. Unlock, lock, unlock, lock. They did this back and forth a few times before officers managed to grab the door handle before he could lock it back a final time. The crowd was cheering for the man. One of the craziest things in NASCAR history happened, and the fans knew it. However, it obviously did not end well for Darren. He was taken to the Talladega County Jail and held on a $10,000 bond. He faced charges for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, resisting arrest, grand theft, and attempted assault. It's not confirmed, but it's rumored that he attacked another inmate with a boot while in jail. According to RockyMountTelegram.com, he was later released after spending some time in a psychiatric hospital. So I think it is interesting that, to my knowledge, he was never charged with driving under the influence. I'm not sure if that's just assumed or if he was never drunk in the first place. It just makes sense that a shirtless, drunk redneck fan does something like that, and it is probably the narrative everybody was happy with. However, according to some sources, he was shirtless coming into the track, and obviously not a big fan of the sport if he did not even know what the traffic was for that was less than an hour away from his home. There's also no footage of him with any alcohol. Maybe the whole situation was just a series of poor decisions because of stress. A wife with cancer, a young child, downgrading to a motorcycle, and who knows what else was going on. Not saying this is what happened, but maybe he just had a poor lapse of judgment and did something crazy just to forget about everything going on back at home. But who really knows? So another interesting thing is that I found a lot of sources spelling his name Darren. However, this was a misspelling by many newspapers published way back in 1986. The name quickly spread to other newspapers, and it is still misspelled all over the place to this day. It is actually spelled Darion. So is his name actually Darian or Darren? I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Darren, and a lot of news outlets got word of this and just put it as Darren just because that's how they would spell it. So that's what I've been going with this entire video. So with this knowledge, I tried searching up some more information on the guy, and this popped up. Darren unfortunately passed away in 2016 at just 51 years old. A couple sources stated that he passed away, and everything else adds up as well. He was born in 1965, so 20 years old in 1986, and he was from Birmingham, Alabama. So my overall point here is that this was a much deeper story than just a redneck fan getting drunk and wanting to do a stupid dare. I'm actually surprised there was this much to talk about in a full-length video. My initial plan was to make a YouTube short about the situation, but here we are. Anyways guys, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe for more interesting NASCAR videos. The link to my website is in the description down below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.